I hope you guys can hear me on this one. I am obviously outside. I had a quick gig in Colombia, of all places, and decided to extend it. I also realize I'm getting older, but there are actually two vultures looking at me from that tree over there. I wanted to follow. So, as I'm recording this, I just published episode 6 on LinkedIn. And there was a great comment or rather post that followed it from Mark Shawa in South Africa, which, if you don't follow him, give him a follow. And basically talking about cybersecurity strategy. And I was talking about us, not having the right incentives or actually not delivering. Sorry, post 6 was about not delivering business value. We're so focused on this arbitrary risk, which is very easy to justify because it's not a real thing, and we can make up any figure we like. And I argued that, look, if you reposition security as a quality function, you are optimizing processes, you are reducing defects, you are reducing rework, and those are things that affect the money that you are spending today, not money that you might lose as a result of a bridge. But this is actually money on your balance sheet today that you could tangibly affect. And I think that is a much bigger way of contributing to the business. And in fact, at Sequoia, risk reduction rather is a byproduct. It's a free byproduct. I don't actually put any effort into it. Lots of people can address tactical short-term risk. We're in it for a strategic long-term outcome. And as a result, because I haven't invested anything in risk, actually I've been investing in optimizing processes to reduce defects and often improve the efficiency and reduce the cost of those processes. I'm actually paying for myself. And that's before we touch the risk. So the ROI on risk is infinite because we're reducing risk quite sustainably, but we haven't actually spent any money reducing the risk. Mark's post was about cybersecurity strategy. And I think this is brilliant because the next couple of posts, which I've recorded but haven't aired yet on LinkedIn, you'll have seen them on YouTube, is kind of about our incentives and how basically we don't really contribute that much to the business due to this focus on technology. But like a cybersecurity strategy, lots and lots of organizations claim to have a cybersecurity strategy. But usually it's just a roadmap to deploying a bunch of tools for which you haven't actually measured the cost benefit. And again, we're relying on that arbitrary risk type stuff. And I saw this a lot in my time at CDW. You basically get people saying, "Oh, this is our strategy or our strategy in this document, and can you guys supply what we need?" And it's like, well, this is a shopping list of tools. You haven't thought of what problems you have, why you have those problems, how are you going to get away from having those problems. There's no long-term vision, and there certainly isn't one from the perspective of the business. It's all about how are we going to do this cool cyber stuff because hey, we're mandated to do this, or Gartner says that, and trends show blah, 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 or let's be honest, I'm a CISO and I quite like the color LEDs on that appliance, so I want to buy it. Not that I've ever seen that in practice. And to give you an example, that's just not okay. And the example I like to give people is imagine you're taken on as the CEO of a struggling company. They're just not generating the sales and the revenue. And you have to kind of go and see what's working, what's not working, and restructure, cut costs, to develop, the strategy. And you're at the point where you're looking at your marketing. Why aren't we generating leads for sales? And you go talk to your chief marketing officer and you ask them, what are we doing? What's our marketing strategy? And they go and they tell you, oh, well, we're going to buy this tool, and we're putting online this platform, and then we're going to hire a bunch of people to manage this platform and these tools. It's going to be great. I was like, you're fired, because there's absolutely no element of strategy. There's zero consideration of the outcome that the business wants, not even for security or marketing in this case, but in general. How are we going to generate value for our shareholders? How are we going to retain our employees? How are we going to make people feel productive, for starters, but most of all, just the bottom line. How are we going to make money? How are we going to drive profitability specifically? There's absolutely no consideration. You're just looking at tools. No, you need to be looking at the outcome. You need to be looking at that's what the business wants. Which of our product lines generates more profit? Which one can we sell more easily? Which one is maybe a longer term thing, but we can start doing now? So create some timelines around that. None of that I see in cybersecurity. And that's the example. That CMO would be fired immediately, and yet we tolerate this complete lack of alignment to business objectives, to business goals in our security strategies. A strategy has to achieve an outcome, and we don't have an outcome. Our outcome is having the latest, greatest tools. With what value? What are they actually doing for the business? So we really need to go back, as per Mark's post, and think of like what drives value. In Mark's post, he talks about show how we can reduce risk, but as per my previous videos, I think it's more than that. I think once you position security as a quality function and you improve the quality of processes, it's not just. Actually, I'll do a quick video right after this to give you an example that I've been using over the last couple of years. It's not just about reducing risk, or rather mitigating risk. It's like if I enhance the quality of processes, I reduce the risks because I reduce the amount of defects, but I also tend to make those processes more efficient, require less resource, have higher profitability, and so on and so forth. So what are we doing in security to advance those goals beyond scary risks that we are basically making up at this point? Let's be honest.